Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nothing to See Here podcast. Hi, it's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
So, I watched this movie. Was that what I wanted to say? Oh, I went to the Cheesecake Factory.
You went without me?
Okay, so my dad took me, so cool your engines.
That's no excuse.
With my stepmom.
Still no excuse.
Alright. And their friends, who you don't know. Did you really want to be around people that aren't related to me that you don't know?
I was around people who are friends, quote unquote, with my parents that I don't know.
That's fair. Anyway, I went to the Cheesecake Factory and there was a really attractive waiter there.
And you didn't take me?
No, of course not. I'm not gonna share that with you. Fuck you.
You bitch.
No. But I have never done this in my life, but my dad's friend, she's like, why are you blushing whenever the waiter comes? I was like, what do you think? So, of course, my dad thought it was funny. So, cause I bought everybody drinks, when I, wrote his tip, and I did tip him very nicely, not only because he was cute, but also because he was a very nice waiter and was very patient with my father, which is a hassle sometimes. I wrote, hey, I've never done this before, but I thought you were really cute and you were very nice. Please give me a call if you'd like. No pressure or anything. And I wrote my number.
Bold.
I've never been that bold.
You've had me deliver your phone number to random guys before.
Have I?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
The Hot Topic employee.
Oh, right. Yeah, nothing came from that.
No. No offense, I think both him and the guy he was working with kind of knew what happened and laughed after I left.
That's fine. But when I was at the Cheesecake Factory, it was the same Cheesecake Factory that you and Mom went on a date for. Would you like to tell this story?
Oh, that was ages ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can tell it.
Go ahead.
As Amanda said, she was on a date at a Cheesecake Factory, and being the good bestie / at the time roommate that I am, I went to spy on the date. But Amanda and I can't drive. Neither of us can drive, so Amanda's mom had to take us. So I had lunch with Amanda's mom while Amanda was on her date, and we told the waiter we were spying on you. And in the back, Amanda's waiter came back saying, oh, I have these two who are on a first date, and then our waiter was like, I have the roommate spying on the date. So they kept going, back and forth, looking at Amanda's table to report back to me and her mom.
Yeah, apparently they'd be going to your guys' table being like, they're just talking. They haven't touched their food. We think it's a good sign.
You guys were there for a long time.
We were there for about 3 hours.
Yeah, I know, because the Peanut Gallery and I had appetizer, salad, and cheesecake, and then left and just walked around and window shopped for a good 30-45 minutes.
You did find a very interesting person while you window shopped, though.
We did.
Has Frankie heard about this interesting person?
I don't think so.
Oh, Hannah.
This man had Daisy Duke shorts on.
Nothing wrong with that.
He wasn't wearing underwear.
Okay, well.
As he rode around on his bike.
Also, these shorts, because I got a picture of this mid-date, these shorts were cut on the sides and tied together with shoelaces. It's very, very fashionable statement, and I actually thought they were very cute. I just wish he would have worn some underwear.
It totally would have been fine had he had underwear on.
But yeah, I've had many an experience at the Cheesecake Factory, apparently.
There are always cute waiters at the Cheesecake Factory.
Always. This does remind me of the time that, Frankie, I think you were around for this one, where I didn't listen to you guys when I went out.
Yeah, this was when you went to the poorhouse.
Yeah.
And we all went. There's a whole group of us that went to spy on the date, and we told you, do not go with him after the date,
Do not get in the car. Do not pass go.
And what did you do?
I got in the car with him. He was very nice.
Yeah. Okay. People thought Ted Bundy was nice.
He's got you there.
People think Luigi Mangione is nice.
Well, it's apples and oranges here. We're comparing.
Frankie, are you a big fan of Luigi?
I mean, I'm not gonna say words because, this is gonna go out on the air. I just think it's absurd that we have school shooters that no one ever tries to get the death penalty for, and then one CEO gets shot and suddenly he's a terrorist. Just thoughts I've had.
Those
Just
are very
thoughts.
fair. They're very fair thoughts, Frankie. I thought whenever I asked if you were a big fan of Luigi, you were going to be like, yeah, I've played his game. Love Luigi's Mansion.
I'm not a huge Luigi's Mansion guy, because the only real experience I've had playing Luigi's Mansion is you yelling at me for how I play Luigi's Mansion while I play as Gooigi.
Have you ever played the original?
I'm not, no.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Frankie, the next time you come over, which will be in the new year, we are playing Luigi's Mansion. And
Okay.
by we, I mean you are going to play and I'm going to backseat game.
Oh, joy.
I'm a great backseat gamer. I don't know what you're
There's
talking about. You
nothing.
remember when we played Bratz Rock Angels? Me, you, and Levi?
I didn't play, though. It was just you and Levi.
Yeah.
You
but it was hilarious
didn't
to
get
watch.
the experience of playing Bratz Rock Angels?
No,
That's
I
a
didn't.
masterpiece.
It is a masterpiece. I have that album on my phone to this day.
Speaking of masterpieces,
Yeah.
what are we talking about tonight, Amanda?
We're talking about fun and fancy free. Now, how do we feel about this? I'm gonna ask now because this is one of my favorites and it brings back a lot of childhood nostalgia.
Hannah, how'd you feel about it?
No, you start, Frankie.
Hannah, let's have you start.
I don't want to start, though.
Hannah, I would really appreciate your thoughts on the movie.
Is Hannah the one that's gonna make me upset today, or is it Frankie? Is it both of you?
I don't know.
I'll leave.
Hannah doesn't know my thoughts on the movie, but I know Hannah's thoughts.
Yeah, I think Frankie should start.
No, I would like. How about this? I am thinking of a number 1 through 10. Whoever
7.
Okay.
5.
Hannah, it was 5. Your turn.
So I was getting ready for a Christmas party yesterday, and I like to have background noise while I do my makeup. I turned this film off at the 20-minute mark.
Did you not watch the rest of it?
No, I didn't.
You suck.
I could not do it.
I don't have words for you. In fact, I'm not even going to give this any more time. I'm going to talk about Fun and Fancy Free because I think Frankie at least watched the whole film.
Wow, I don't even give my thoughts.
Frankie, did you watch the whole film?
I did watch the whole film.
All right. So
I was really hoping you'd come and be like, no, I didn't watch it at all.
Yeah, no. Frankie definitely watched the whole film, and he's seen this before.
Yeah, and I didn't remember how fucking terrifying these puppets were.
Aside from
There's two puppets.
Technically 3 if you count the hand puppet.
If you count the terrifying fucking hand puppet, that was the scariest one of all. Hannah, it's a nightmare. It's the dude's hand, but he's not just like making mouth. He drew eyes, and he didn't just draw eyes. He drew like a whole fucking mouth.
A black mouth.
He went like deep into his hand, so it's got black soulless eyes and an empty void of a mouth.
See what happens when you don't watch shit?
Horrifying.
Well, that will be up on the Instagram, so don't worry, I'll see it eventually.
The
hand puppet. All the puppets will be up.
I want to say this. I think that this is, with the exception of all the live action shit.
Right.
Because I fucking hated all that. Not just because I didn't like the puppets, but it was just unnecessary to me. I think this was the best anthology that they did, because both stories they told, Bongo and Mickey and the Beanstalk, had time to be told. It wasn't just like a quick, here's a 10-minute story that we're going to tell you. Mm-hmm. They actually told a nice little story. But then, they had the live action stuff that kind of like threw off Mickey and the Beanstalk. Wasn't a fan of that. But I did like it. It's one of the few things I've watched on this show so far, between this and the wrestling stuff, and the wrestling stuff I've done with Levi, that I've watched from my childhood that I didn't, hate afterwards.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. Did I say what film we're talking about?
I don't know.
Reintroduce it.
Yeah, well, we're talking about fun and fancy-free. It's a 1947 American animated musical fantasy anthology film produced by Walt Disney and Ben Sharpstein, released September 27, 1947. The film is a compilation of two stories, Bongo, narrated by Dinah Shore, and loosely based on the short story Little Bear Bongo by Sinclair Lewis, and Mickey and the Beanstalk, narrated by Edgar Bergen, and based on Jack and the Beanstalk. Though the film is primarily animated, it also uses live-action segments starring Edgar Bergen to join its two stories. I just want to say that little girl, right? That little girl that we saw, Luana Patton.
Yeah.
She was the little girl from Song of the South.
Was she?
She was.
No, she was a bad actress in this, too, so maybe they should not hire her again.
Well, she's dead.
Well, I figured she was, but,
She actually died before any of us were born. 1996.
she was a child star from the 40s. They don't tend to, survive.
Let me talk about the production. So, during the 1940s, Mickey and the Beanstalk and Bongo were originally going to be developed as two separate films. How do you feel about that one, Franklin?
That would be too much.
Too much.
I don't think there's enough there with Bongo to tell a whole movie.
That's very fair.
And then Mickey and the Beanstalk, I guess you could flesh it out a little more, but I felt it was good. I wanted less of the stuff that was in Mickey and the Beanstalk because I didn't want the fucking puppets.
You really have a problem with puppets.
I have a problem with these puppets.
I really enjoyed the commentary of the one puppet, not during the live action scenes, but just when the guy was narrating it. I thought that was kind of funny.
I hated it. They're ugly and annoying. Every time they interrupted, I was so upset. I was like, stop talking to me.
Oh no, I thought it was hilarious. I'm the audience who this film was made for. So, in the late 1930s, Mickey's popularity fell behind Donald Duck, Goofy, Pluto, Mac Fleischer's Popeye, and Warner Bros. Porky Pig.
Oh, wow, when you're below Porky Pig.
It's
not even the most popular Looney Tune.
I know. To boost his popularity, Disney and his artist created cartoons such as The Brave Little Tailor and The Sorcerer's Apprentice, we've talked about. That one was included in Fantasia. In early 1940, during the production of Fantasia, animators Bill Cottrell and T. Hee, that is his name, T. Hee, H-E-E, pitched the idea of a feature film based on Jack and the Beanstalk, starring Mickey Mouse as Jack, and with Donald Duck and Goofy as supporting characters. When they pitched it to Disney, he burst out laughing with tears rolling down his cheeks with joy, as Cottrell and he later recalled. Disney enjoyed this pitch so much he invited other employees to listen to it. However, he said that as much as he enjoyed the pitch of the film itself would never go into production because, as Disney claimed, they murdered his characters. I don't know how.
However, did he not have faith in his own people?
I guess not. However, Cottrell and he were able to talk Disney into giving it the green light and story development as The Legend of Happy Valley, which began production on May 2nd, 1940. The original treatment was more or less the same as what became the final film. However, there were a few deleted scenes. For example, there was a scene in which Mickey took the cow to the market, where he meets Honest John and Gideon from Pinocchio, who con him into trading his cow for magic beans. That's so dope!
I mean,
it's Milky White!
That would have fit the whole Pinocchio reunion tour that was happening, so.
Yeah. Cleo showed up. Apparently the cat had a brother, a really mean brother. Another version had a scene where Mickey gave the cow to the Queen, played by Minnie Mouse, as a gift, and in return she gave him the magic beans. I don't like that one as much. However, both scenes were cut and the story was trimmed, as we don't figure out how Mickey got the beans. That's not something that we figure out. Shortly after the rough animation on Dumbo was complete in May 1941, The Legend of Happy Valley went into production, using many of the same animation crew, although RKO doubted it would be a success. Since it was a simple, low-budget film, in 6 months, 50 minutes had been animated on Happy Valley. Then on October 27th, 1941, due to Disney animators' strike and World War II, which had cut off Disney's foreign release market, caused serious debt, so Disney put The Legend of Happy Valley on hold. Meanwhile, production was starting on Bongo, a film based on the short story written by Sinclair Lewis for Cosmopolitan magazine in 1930. It was suggested that Bongo could be the sequel to Dumbo and have some of the same cast from the 1941 film. Supporting characters. However, that idea was never fully materialized. In earlier drafts, Bongo had a chimpanzee as a friend and partner in his circus act. She was first called Beverly, then Chimpy, but the character was ultimately dropped when condensing the story. Bongo and Chimpy also encountered two mischievous bear cubs who were also dropped. Originally, the design for the characters were more realistic, but when paired for fun and fancy-free, the designs were simplified and drawn more cartoony. Yeah. The script was nearly completed by December 8, 1941, which is the day after the attack on Pearl Harbor. On the same day, the U.S. military took control of the studio and commissioned Walt Disney Productions to produce instructional and war propaganda films in which pre-production work on Bongo and early versions of Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan were shelved. During and after the war, Disney stopped producing single narrative feature films due to costs and decided to make package films consisting of animated shorts to make features. Right. This is what happened. Right. This is why we are in the anthology era.
We are in the flop era.
Stop calling it that, because this was not a flop.
But she's right. Up to this point, it's been flop after flop.
Disney felt that since the animation of Bongo and The Legend of Happy Valley, which was renamed Mickey and the Beanstalk, was not sophisticated enough to be a Disney animated feature film, the artist decided to include the story in a package film. Throughout the 1940s, Disney had suggested to pair Mickey and the Beanstalk with The Wind in the Willows, which was also in production around this time, into a package film that they were going to call Two Fantabulous Characters. Ultimately, Mickey and the Beanstalk was cut from Two Fantabulous Characters and paired with Bongo instead. By late 1947...
Glad they didn't go with that name. Fuck,
yeah.
Who the fuck thought of that name? Who said,
I
got an idea?
Two Fabulous Characters?
Yeah.
By late 1947, Wind in the Willows was paired with The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and retitled The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Disney had provided the voice for Mickey Mouse since his debut in 1928, and Fun and Fancy Free was the last time he would voice the role regularly, since he no longer had the time or energy to do so. Disney recorded most of Mickey's dialogue in the spring and summer of 1941. Sound effect artist Jimmy McDonald would become the character's new voice actor, starting in 1948. Disney, however, did reprise his role for the introduction to the original 1955 to 1959 run of the Mickey Mouse Club. Celebrities Edgar Bergen and Dinah Shore introduced the segments in order to appeal to a massive audience. Jiminy Cricket from Pinocchio sings I'm a Happy-Go-Lucky Fellow, a song written for and cut from Pinocchio before its release.
How do you feel about the inclusion of Jiminy Cricket? Because we were all Jiminy Cricket haters during Pinocchio.
I still am a hater, but at least this time he's not trying to, be somebody's conscience. He's literally just saying, hey, I am a happy-go-lucky fellow, and yeah, fuck things. That's kind of what he's saying, right?
I got the idea he's just there to tell some stories, you know?
I didn't mind it as much as I minded it whenever he was supposed to be, someone's conscience.
And he was doing a bad job.
We have the opening. I know we discussed, I think in the very first Disney review, we discussed how we like the credits at the beginning. I still enjoy this.
I enjoy it so far still as well. We'll see if it gets annoying anytime.
This song, called Fun and Fancy Free, there are some things in this song that have me pissed off a little bit.
Well, the song gives some medical advice at one point.
If you should have a chronic ache, pills won't make you strong. The only tonic you should take is a teaspoonful of song.
So, if you have chronic pain, just sing a little bit. You're good. Good to go.
Yeah. Another one that I was a little mad at was this little line right here. Drown your frowns, my friend. Don't do that. Your frown is connected to your face, and trying to drown your frown would mean you would be drowning. Don't do that.
Well, I think you could drown your frown with some alcohol.
Yeah, that too.
Question.
Yes.
Was there a Disney Plus content warning?
No.
No? Okay.
I didn't see one, Frankie. Did you?
There was not. I checked twice. I restarted the movie after it was over because I forgot to take a note of it. So no warning.
Nope.
Okay.
No. So after the
This is
after
a
the
fully
credits-
endorsed Disney movie.
yeah, it's rated G, only for some tobacco use apparently. So after the credits, we start off with Jiminy Cricket riding on a leaf boat, and what we think is the wild turns out it's like a weird like potted plant garden thing, indoor garden plant thing that's on a desk. And he's singing his song, I'm a happy-go-lucky fellow. He jumps off of this thing, and he jumps onto a bookshelf. I'd like to read some of the names of these books, because I really paid attention to them. The first one I see here is Misery for the Masses. Something that I actually think I would read. Basic Metabolism, The Anatomy of Melancholy, and Proverbial Philosophy.
I feel like we're in like a therapist's office.
The Anatomy of Melancholy, that would be a great name for a band. Like an emo punk band.
Oh, yeah.
Jiminy then jumps off the bookshelf, and he starts floating by his umbrella, and he almost lands in the fishbowl with the sexy fish Cleo.
She's back!
She is back. And he scares the shit out of her, and then proceeds to yell at her about being too high-strung, even though he just scared the shit out of her.
Notoriously laid-back fellow, Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
So glad to see he still sucks.
Yeah, he does kind of suck a little bit. But she ends up listening. He then talks about how she worries too much, and you know what? Everybody worries too much. He's like, here, look at the paper. The paper says, catastrophe seen as a crisis loom. Granted, there is a war going on, so I get where this is coming from. And honestly, this kind of relates to our day and age still.
Oh, too hard. Way too
everyone
hard.
Just stop worrying, alright?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Everybody listened to this fucker's advice after the war, and that's why we have climate change.
This fucking
global
insect,
warming.
this fucking bug who doesn't have to worry about anything is telling us to not worry. Fuck you.
I'm just gonna read some of these headlines because I think they're funny. Human race going crazy, Savant claims. That's a savant, he claims it. State man held captive 30 hours by 3 bandits. Woman free of check charges.
Good for her.
Warden of force. That's just what it says. Sun will soon turn to ice. I don't know about that one. The community picnic. The community picnic got postponed.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
I was looking forward to the potato salad.
The end of the world near, astrologers predict.
I'm sorry, I just gotta point out, community picnic canceled doesn't really fit in with the chaos vibes he's talking about.
That's why I really like it. What are you talking about? You can't imagine some, like, PTA mom flipping out because the community picnic was canceled?
Oh, I can, but I'm looking at the paper, I'm like, do you not see the end of the world is coming?
Oceans will gobble Earth, scientists forecast.
Whoa!
That's not wrong. That's not wrong.
They got it right there. That's correct.
Yeah. So,
I mean, the end of the world is also coming at some point.
So, I can't read any more of them, I don't think. Extinction threatens world millions. That one, you know. Who's being extinct? All of the fucking animals that we have had
I think
go
humans.
extinct?
I think humans.
I mean, Hitler's in power when this was being made.
Poverty just around the corner is claim.
Also not wrong.
Yeah, when did the stock market crash?
That was before. That was in between World War I and World War II.
Mm.
But poverty is always just around the corner for most Americans. So.
Insects threaten world food stock.
All right, Jiminy, what are we up to now?
Wait, the murder hornets.
The spotted lanternflies. They eat our crops.
I think Jiminy's telling us not to worry because he's out here eating everyone's crops.
No
This
one.
is a Jiminy cricket conspiracy.
This is why we are the #1 Jiminy cricket hate podcast.
Civilization doomed Congress group. I don't think this Congress group should be saying anything about civilization being doomed.
Well, they're the ones dooming it, so it's fine. They can say it.
This is also right before they shut the government down. Again.
Yeah. He's like, hey, don't worry, and continues on singing. And then proceeds to poke his umbrella into a cat's nose. If I was that cat, that cricket should be eaten. And then he wonders why he's being chased. And he slams the door in the cat's face. Which how does he slam a door in the cat's face? He's a cricket.
He's a strong cricket.
No, he's not. He tells the cat once he's underneath the door, take it easy, you're a bundle of nerves, and then barks at the cat and scares him. Fuck this cricket. Never mind, I do hate him. So, he's in a dark room, and he starts messing up things and bumping into things, and finally he turns on a light, and he has knocked over a doll and a teddy bear. He goes up to the doll, he's like, I'm sorry I upset you, and he goes and puts her upright, and he sees that this doll and this teddy bear look very sad. They look incredibly sad. Probably because they were just knocked over and bumped into. Or,
why is he apologizing to the inanimate objects when he just assaulted a cat?
I don't know. But I think remember Pinocchio? He was hitting on the wooden clock girl. He's like, you know what? You guys need a little bit of music. And he goes on to the record player and he finds a little album that's The Story of Bongo by Dinah Shore. And it has a little picture on it. He pulls the record out and it just miraculously falls onto the record player. We now begin the story of Bongo. This is a story of 3 bears. Jiminy thinks it's about Goldilocks and 3 bears. It's not. It's a love story. It's about a girl bear, a big burly brownie bear, and it's about Bongo.
I've still watched up to this point. I've watched part of Bongo. Bongo is what made me break and give up.
You didn't like Bongo?
What are you talking about? So the story follows the adventure of a circus bear named Bongo. He longs for freedom in the wild. This bear has done fucking everything. The big act that he does is he juggles a shit ton of stuff on a high wire and then jumps down and lands on a wet sponge. Bongo has, always been a circus bear, raised in captivity, but he's treated really badly. They chain him up by his neck, and that's not cool. Don't do that to anybody, animal or human. They have him in like a little cage on his little circus train. And I feel bad for the little guy, Frankie. Apparently, despite Bongo being raised in captivity, he has this, innate, instinct that has just been calling to him to go to the wild. And I'm pretty sure he starts to hallucinate at one point on this train. He sees himself out in the wilderness. Eventually, he does manage to escape because he shakes a door so much that the lock comes off. And he escapes on his little unicycle out into the forest. When he's out in the forest, he really likes it. He thinks, oh, this is perfect. This is great. This is very ideal. Picturesque, wherein the grass is always greener kind of moments. He sees a tree and he's like, I'm gonna climb that tree. Spoiler alert, he doesn't climb that tree. And these animals pick on him. And he just kind of laughs it off. We see a knockoff Chip and Dale. Or at least what I thought was knockoff Chip and Dale, because they don't have their similar markings. But, looking at the cast, that is Chip and Dale.
First appearance of Chip and Dale.
Yeah, they showed up. They were in disco. Hannah, is this where you tapped out?
I made it to when he almost fell over a cliff, and he rode his unicycle back up.
The animals show him around, and he ends up trying to fall asleep. As he tries to sleep, he starts hearing noises, gets scared. Some lightning flashes and, like, almost hits him. I think actually hits him, if I remember correctly. And he ends up sleeping by a cliff. Just a rough night. He's sore, he's stiff, he slipped out in the wilderness. Nobody likes doing that. I mean, some people do, but I wouldn't. Not without, like, a tent.
None of us are Bear Grylls.
If I had a tent, I'd be fine. A tent and a sleeping bag? Hells yeah. I love camping. But he wasn't camping. He was laying on the ground. So the next morning, he meets a female bear named Lulabelle. Frankie, was it just me, or did they draw this bear sexy?
I think that's just you.
Hannah wasn't around, so she can't just, like, tell me.
Yeah, I think that's just you. I didn't think they drew this bear sexy.
I will Google Lulabelle very quickly and
She
report
just had
back.
a lot of, like, sexy gestures, like, the, like, very contrapposto kind of vibe. I don't know. Bongo and Lulabelle immediately fall in love. And they have a beautiful little love song, and I love this little scene. They're in, like, clouds. They're little bear cupids. Frankie, how'd you feel about this scene?
It's alright.
You're no fun anymore. You know that?
I don't have any notes about this. You keep asking me questions, but I don't have notes about this stuff. So you gotta ask me questions about. Don't ask me questions. If I have a note, I'll come in with a note.
Alright. So they fall in love. They have a nice little, like, I guess dream sequence. And all of a sudden, Lumpjaw, Bongo's rival, just shows up out of nowhere.
What a dumb name, Lumpjaw.
He starts trying to, he's a huge bear, by the way. Huge. He starts trying to beat up Bongo, but before he really gets a chance, Lulabelle, like a boss, kind of steps in and is like, no, this is my affair, right? I'm the one making this choice. She goes over to Bongo, and she slaps him. Bongo's kind of hurt that he got slapped. Lulabelle's like, what's going on? And slaps him again. Now Bongo's really upset. He's like, what the hell? I thought the feeling was mutual. And Lulabelle is now hurt. She's like, what the fuck? Wait, why are you not doing the thing? And she goes to slap him one last time, give him one last chance, and she spins too hard. Bongo walks away out of her reach, and she slaps Lumpjaw. Unfortunately, Bongo failed to know, because he was raised in captivity, that bears slap themselves. Or slap each other. So Lulabelle accidentally slaps Lumpjaw, and he then claims her as his mate, I guess, or possible mate. And has the other bears join in the celebration for them. Bongo, watching the celebration, and them singing a song about why slapping each other is a sign of love for bears, starts to understand what this means, and he returns and he challenges Lumpjaw. I don't know.
During the song, by the way, they show that, like, they're like, you know what, we slap each other, that's how we show love. And some of them are like, it can just be like a nice little like love tap. And then others are like, and sometimes they just punch each other in the face.
Yeah.
As hard. How do they show they hate each other? Because this seems super confusing.
A kiss. If you kiss in bear language, that's it. That's all over. You're getting a divorce.
Those are fighting actions.
Yeah, exactly. So Bongo comes in, and even though he's a little tiny bear, he manages to, outwit Lumpjaw.
He beats him up with his circus tricks.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They end up going into a river, and then it appears like they go over the waterfall. Lumpjaw does go over the waterfall, but Bongo has a little hat on with a little elastic that he gets caught on a twig, and he manages to climb back up over the waterfall. And he claims Lulabelle as his mate, and, they live happily ever after. So
I looked up Lulabelle. I don't think she's drawn sexy. I think she just has hip.
After the story is over, Jiminy notices that the doll and the bear are happy, and they're very much, I guess, an item? Would you say they're an item, Frankie?
Yeah, they imply that the doll and the stuffed animal bear are gonna start dating each other.
Yeah, it was really cute. Jimmy's like, I don't want to be a third wheel. As he starts to walk out, he notices that there's a birthday invitation to Luana Patton, who I just talked about. He says he's not going to look through anybody's mail, but then notices that it is a party invitation and then proceeds to do it anyway. Because he's a happy-go-lucky fellow, I guess. And he's okay with... Isn't this
And a
illegal?
liar. Well, it's illegal to open someone's mail, but like he didn't take it out of the envelope. Technically, it was already open. He's just rude. He's just being rude.
But this birthday party is taking place in the house across the way, with Charlie McCarthy, Mortimer
By the way,
Stewart.
Hannah, since you didn't see this, the location of the party is literally listed as the house across the way. Not just, they have an address, and he's like, oh, that's the house across the way. No. It is literally, that is the physical address that was given on the card.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if they're all personalized.
Anyway, and Edgar Bergen. Jiminy's excited, and he exits the house through a window and goes over to the house across the way. He sneaks in there, just quietly observing, and attending that party with Luana, Charlie, Mortimer, and Edgar. Which, Mortimer,
Charlie and Mortimer are puppets, so half of the attendees of this party are puppets.
And the other one is an old man.
With a child.
This is a child's birthday party?
Yes,
yeah,
it's a little girl.
Nobody else.
The little girl from Song of the South. Probably about the same age she was in Song of the South, it looks like.
Yeah.
With two puppets and a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
That better be Dad or Grandpa.
I don't think so.
Oh, she calls him Mr. Edgar and Mr. Bergen, like, quite a lot.
Real weird.
And this is when he's doing the hand puppet from hell.
Oh, goody.
We start off with Ophelia.
By the way, I have a question. How do you spell this man's name? Edgar? Is that his name?
Edgar Bergen. Bergen.
Bergen. Oh,
yes.
Okay. He is a ventriloquist. He sucks. He's not good. This man's lips are moving constantly, like visibly moving constantly.
You know what I think? Mortimer, not Charlie, but Mortimer. I think Mortimer's where Jeff Dunham got his idea for Bubba J.
Oh, it's the exact same puppet design, yeah.
Yeah. Exact same personality, kinda, too.
Yeah, exact same puppet design and personality of dumb redneck.
Yeah. Except Mortimer had a hat on.
And a suit.
Yeah, a suit and a little straw hat. So.
At least Jeff Dunham doesn't move his fucking lips the entire fucking show. Jesus
Yeah, I know.
Christ.
I've seen Jeff Dunham. I really like him.
Edgar. This guy's not a good ventriloquist. Why did Jesus? I'm sorry to keep harping on this guy, but damn.
After Ophelia vanishes, and after he shows this girl his party trick, which sounds like an innuendo.
She says, that was the greatest trick I've ever seen. First of all, it was a hand puppet. It's not even a trick.
No.
Anyone can do a hand puppet.
Don't take her to see a really good ventriloquist, I guess.
Yeah. Two, his lips were clearly moving, so it wasn't even good ventriloquism. So, and also, puppets aren't tricks. This man was pulling out some magic tricks, maybe.
I don't know. I think being a ventriloquist is a trick in itself if you're good and you don't move
maybe.
your
I
mouth.
guess so. This girl's stupid, though. Jesus.
I don't think she's stupid. I think she was told to act stupid.
No, I know that, but like the character. She's a character.
She's a character of herself. That's what's really upsetting. Is like her character name is Luana Patton, but she is Luana Patton. So
they said act dumb.
That's basically what they said. So Edgar decides to tell a story to entertain, I guess, Luana and his other personalities.
And the cricket that's committed a home invasion.
Yeah, and the cricket that they don't really recognize is there.
They don't ever acknowledge him being there.
Yeah. At one point, though, I just want to make this known. Jiminy drinks somebody's whole ass drink.
He drinks their drink. He eats someone's slice of cake.
Yeah.
This
Just
man's
fucking
committing
rude.
crimes.
How much jail time is Jiminy Cricket getting?
Yeah, Frankie.
Well, he hasn't committed a felony, but he's committed a breaking and entering. He's breaking a B&E.
Theft?
Technically, he has stolen. Yeah, so he's seeing some time maybe. It might be his first offense, so they'll probably plea him down. But
Yeah.
you know,
What about
think it's his
combined
first
with
offense.
Pinocchio?
he didn't commit any crimes in Pinocchio. He's just an ass.
You don't think child neglect would be a crime?
He's not the parent, and he wasn't a real boy.
So this is a parody of Jack and the Beanstalk. In a little countryside place called Happy Valley. It's very beautiful, very picturesque. It's this way because there is a singing golden harp. I don't know how pretty this harp was. I didn't remember how pretty this harp was. This harp is pretty. Like, this harp should be a Disney princess.
By the way, Hannah, the entire time this story is going on, you have Edgar Berger telling the story, and then you have the fucking Charlie puppet interrupting with snide commentary.
Oh, it's so good. I loved it.
I'm so glad I didn't watch this.
No, I enjoyed it. Some of them were really fucking amusing if you would have, removed the fact that they were puppets from your psyche, Frankie.
No, I didn't want that. I just wanted the story to be told.
But that's not how it was told to you beforehand. This was always part of it, Frankie.
Okay.
And at one point, I bet you enjoyed the puppets.
I bet I didn't enjoy the puppets.
I bet you did at one point.
Here's the thing. Here's everything. What I remember about this movie is Bongo, the giant song, and that I hated the puppet. I hated the look of the puppets. They were terrifying puppets.
The harp is stolen, and we don't know by who. We later find out it's by the giant, but the harp is stolen, and because of this Happy Valley is plagued by droughts and falls into turmoil and depression, right?
Is it now called Unhappy Valley?
What did Charlie, he called it Gruesome Gulch, so.
I like some alliteration.
Yeah, it was good. I think you would have actually enjoyed Charlie, Hannah. If you could separate the fact that it was a puppet speaking, I think you would have enjoyed the snide comments. They're comments that you would have made. I truly believe that one.
Okay.
Here's my thing, Amanda. I think you're thinking I hate them because they're puppets. I love the Muppets. They're my the Muppets are some of my favorite.
I don't consider the Muppets puppets.
They are puppets. In fact,
they're Muppets.
Most of their name comes from the word puppet.
No, they're Muppets with an M. Different, completely different. Hannah, you're on the same side with me on this, right? Muppets are completely different.
I just said they're Muppets.
Yeah,
Muppets
completely different.
Muppets are puppets.
Frankie,
they're Muppets.
Yeah, if you keep talking this nonsense, I might have to commit you.
Muppets are puppets,
no.
and I love them.
Hold
These on. I'm holding. I'm waiting.
I'm calling the expert in.
The word Muppet comes from marionette and puppet.
Mom, we're having a Muppet discussion in here, and I think you need to be here.
I can't believe this.
Yeah, the peanut gallery is coming, and she's gonna put an end to this bullshit, Franklin.
Do you know the two words that Muppet comes from?
Hannah, he's just talking nonsense.
This is a fact. It's a verifiable fact. It's a verifiable fact.
Are you still sick?
It is a verifiable fact.
It's worse than I thought.
I feel like I'm being gaslit right now because this is a verifiable fact.
It's not. I think it's crazy that you're even suggesting something like this. Are you sure you're okay?
I think we need to call his girlfriend and tell her that her boyfriend is very sick and is spewing nonsense.
I can't believe I'm being gaslit to this degree.
Jen, please check on your man. He's not okay.
I can't believe I'm being gaslit to this degree by my supposed friends.
So, Mom, I'd like to ask you, Are Muppets and puppets the exact same thing?
I didn't say they were the exact same thing. I didn't say they were the exact same thing. That's incorrect. Not
Muppets
all
and
puppets
are two different things.
Not all Muppet. Not all puppets.
100% different things. A puppet is not in the same category as a Muppet.
And a Muppet is not a puppet.
Well, a Muppet is a puppet.
Oh, yes. Thank you. See, that's what I was saying, Amanda. The Muppets are superior puppets, but they are still puppets. But the Muppets are better. I love the Muppets. These puppets fucking suck. These puppets suck.
I trusted you so much.
They're actually puppets, Amanda.
I trusted you so much.
They are the most ultimate puppet of puppets, but they're still a puppet.
I trusted her so much, Hannah.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it almost sounds like Frankie was having a stroke.
After all of this gaslighting I was experiencing, to be vindicated by the Peanut Gallery.
I'm so upset.
I'm sorry.
I hope.
The Muppets are puppets, but they are the most ultimate of puppets.
I hope the Peanut Gallery can hear this. I'm going to take this happiness into the holidays.
Harp is stolen. After weeks pass, there are only peasants remaining. We then look on 3 of them, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. They have but 1 loaf of bread and a single solitary bean to eat to share. And Mickey cuts these pieces of bread and this bean so thinly. My name for this episode is Thinly Sliced Bread. This is an iconic moment. I vividly remembered this scene so many years later. And I just remember Donald holding the very translucent bread with the bean and looking all sad. Donald ends up being driven insane by hunger. He makes a plate out of he makes a sandwich out of plates and silverware. And they have to make him cough that up because I'm pretty sure if he swallowed that, he would have cut his throat. He then grabs an axe and goes to try and kill the trio's pet cow. We find out they have a cow. The live action scene kind of cuts in here. Luana is like, no, they can't kill the cow. The cow's like their best friend. Not once did I hear it said that the cow was their best friend. Did you, Franklin?
I don't remember that being said.
Yeah, I don't either. And Mortimer, the puppet, he's like, if the cow dies, I don't want to listen to the story anymore. Which, to be fair, that sounds like something Hannah would say.
I leave 1-star reviews on Goodreads if I read a book where a dog dies.
What about a cow?
I think I would do the same. Because I turned off Unsolved Mysteries. There's only 1 episode I haven't watched of the new Netflix series, and it's about animal mutilation. I couldn't do it.
Instead of killing the cow, Mickey and Goofy stop Donald from killing the cow. Mickey then sells the cow to buy food. We don't see him sell the cow, as I said. But Mickey comes back, even though Donald and Goofy are very excited about the food that they're probably going to be eating. Mickey comes back with magic beans.
I'd be so pissed.
I would be really pissed too. Donald thinks that Mickey got conned, rightfully so. He did. And he throws the beans down in a hole in the floor. Apparently, if you plant these beans on the night of a full moon, these beans will be magic. And it just so happens to be a full moon, and the moon just happens to be placed right at that exact hole where the beans fell.
I've always had this question about Jack and the Beanstalk. If Jack and his mom ate the beans, would they end up dying because a magic beanstalk would grow out of their stomachs?
Yes, it's like when you eat the seeds of a watermelon.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think in this one because of the light of the full moon, but I would say in the original story, yeah, I can imagine a beanstalk growing out of
Into the woods, they would have died.
Yeah, 100%. And Into the Woods, yes, 100%. Those beans are truly magical, though, and a giant beanstalk grows and takes the house with it. And we see the fun little house growing with the beanstalk and breaking apart. And these fuckers are some sound sleepers. The next morning, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy find themselves at the top of the beanstalk in a kingdom that is huge, right, with them being tiny. They make their way to a huge castle after fighting I think it's a dragonfly? because Donald decided to make machine gun noises at it and call it a bomber. And that dragonfly wants to kick his ass. So they make their way to the castle, and they start eating all of this food that they come across on a giant table. While they are, being amazed with the giant food, they stumble across the harp locked inside of a small box, and she explains that she was kidnapped by a giant. His name is Willie. Willie the giant enters, grunting angrily while simultaneously breaking into a happy song, which Frankie vividly remembers.
I love the Fee Fi Fo Fum song.
He demonstrates, while singing the song, his powers of flight, invisibility, and shape-shifting.
Yeah, he has superpowers, besides just being a giant.
Super OP. Just super. As Willie prepares to eat lunch, he catches Mickey hiding in his sandwich after Mickey sneezes when Willie pours some pepper onto the sandwich. Mickey then plays a palm reader, right? Looks at Willie's palm and is like, "Hey, I bet you that you can change into any form that you want." And Willie's like, "Yeah, I can. Do you want to see?" And Mickey was like, "Yeah, turn into a fly." Because he saw a fly swatter nearby and is like, "Yeah, we're gonna get him. That's how we're gonna get him." Willie suggests that he turn into a pink bunny instead. Mickey's like, "Well, if you can't turn into the fly, that's alright, I guess, And he's like, no, I'll turn into a fly." But before he turns into a fly, he turns into a pink bunny, which makes me believe that he can't turn into a fly.
I think he just really likes bunnies.
Yeah. And as he does, he sees Mickey, Donald, and Goofy with the fly swatter. Now he's pissed off, and Willie captures Donald and Goofy and locks them in the harp chest instead and takes the harp out. However, Mickey manages to slide off the edge before he locks it. The harp ends up helping Mickey by singing Willie to sleep, and he gets the key out of Willie's pocket and, opens the chest. So they go to sneak away with the harp. As they go to sneak away, Mickey decides, you know what, just in case for collateral, I'm going to tie his shoelaces together. But as he's tying his shoelaces together, Willie wakes up, and he chases them all the way to the beanstalk. But Mickey is able to stall him long enough for Donald and Goofy to reach the bottom, and they saw down the beanstalk. Mickey arrives, helps his friends finish sawing, and the giant, who was climbing down, then falls, supposedly, to his death.
What death in this film?
Back at Edgar Bergen's home, he finishes his story, saying that with the return of the harp, Happy Valley was back to prosperity and everybody, live happily ever after. He tries to cheer Mortimer up, who was mourning Willie's death. Because, Hannah, you're right, this had a lot of death in it, apparently. Edgar tries to tell Mortimer that Willie is just a fictional character, but as he does this, the giant, having survived the fall, appears, tears the roof off of the Bergen's house, and inquires about Mickey's whereabouts. Before Edgar can even say anything, he faints in shock, and Mortimer tells Willie goodnight. The movie then ends with Jiminy leaving the house, and Willie stalking through Hollywood searching for Mickey, and he picks up the brown derby hat and puts it on his head. Because, Hollywood. And that's how the movie ends.
I think this is the best of their anthology films. I just wish all the live action stuff had been taken out, and then I would have liked it a lot more.
Alright, well, let's rate this bad boy.
Well, we didn't get Hannah's thoughts.
Hannah didn't fucking watch it. She doesn't get to say thoughts anymore.
My thoughts were I turned it off at 20 minutes.
Hannah's not allowed to have thoughts anymore, apparently.
Not in this episode. Well, you'll be happy to know, you guys, there's only 2 anthology films left.
Only, you say. I say still.
The next one up is Melody Time, and I love Melody Time.
I almost watched Melody Time by mistake.
Instead of Make Mine Music?
Instead of Fun and Fancy Free.
Ah, nope.
Even though I did ask you what we were supposed to watch for this week.
So where do you want to rank this?
Can I have the top 6?
The top 6. Going, how do you want to go? In order? What order are we going? 1 to 6, 6 to 1.
Go to 1 to 6.
Bambi, Snow White, Dumbo, Saludos Amigos, Pinocchio, The Three Caballeros.
It's above Saludos Amigos, but below Dumbo.
Okay, so Fun and Fancy Free is number 4.
Hells yeah.
Are we happy about that? We excited?
I am. Why?
I'm just asking.
Are you not?
I think that's a good place for it.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was very good. I want you to know, the Araquan bird is in Melody Time, and Blame It on the Samba.
So skip that segment then. Good to know.
If you skip that segment, if any of you don't watch that segment, I will quit this show.
Because of the Araquan bird?
Yeah, I would.
You love the Araquan bird that much?
I do.
That's absurd behavior.
That's fine. I will do it.
I believe you. I'm just saying.
It's okay if it's absurd behavior. I'll still do it.
I know. You're an absurd person.
Now, before we end this, I sent y'all a video.
You did. I didn't watch it.
Are you serious?
I was editing this entire time before I set up the room. I didn't have time to watch it.
Hannah, did you at least
I
watch
did
it?
watch it.
Can we
Hurt
talk
my
about
eyes with all the flashes, but I did watch it.
On my copy of Fun and Fancy Free, at the end of this movie, featured Mambo Number 5, the Disney version, starring Lou Bega. Man, did this bring back some memories. I really appreciate him. He let me double check here. He replaced the words liquor and gin to candy and ice cream. Frankie, you're next.
I am next, and Hannah was here when I decided what my episode was going to be, because I didn't know what it was going to be until tonight. We're going to do a Weirdo of History. We're going to be talking about, now we all know that the United States, we don't have kings, we don't have emperors, we have presidents. Wrong. Incorrect. We did have an emperor.
No, we didn't.
We're going to be talking about the first and only emperor of the United States, Joshua Abraham Norton.
Why does this name sound so familiar? Is this the guy who created the sovereign citizens?
No, this isn't he didn't create the sovereign citizens. But he named himself the Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico.
All right.
I'm sure Mexico loved that.
Yeah.
And what country is he from? England.
Oh.
It makes so much sense now.
So we're going to be talking about Joshua Abraham Norton. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about him. But
hey, does anybody want to see Nosferatu with me?
Yes.
All right. Well, next week we'll talk about Joshua Abraham Norton. Is there any other business to take care of?
No.
It sounds like no.
It sounds like a no. So we're gonna do our normal business and end the episode. As of recording, we are on YouTube and Spotify. If you are listening to us on YouTube, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that little bell so you're notified when every episode is uploaded. If you are listening to us on Spotify, remember to follow the show and leave a rating and review, and answer the episode question, which as of this moment is and will be, what do you think of the episode, until someone answers the question. Answer the fucking question. But no matter where you're listening to us, please share the show with your friends, with your family, with your enemies. Get people to listen to us. We appreciate all the listens that we get, and we'd like more people to discover the show. If you would like to send us an email with an idea for an episode, with comments about the episode, with any questions you would like us to answer, you can send us an email at
Nothing to see here podcast at gmail.com. As always, here is spelled Hear.
If you would like to see artwork done by Amanda, some funny memes created by Hannah, and any images that we talk about and visuals that we talk about during the episodes themselves, you can do so over on our Instagram page, which is
Nothing to see here pod.
And that is all the business taken care of. So thank you for listening, and goodbye and good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.